Hello, hello. Happy day 30 of NaNoWriMo, everybody. How are we feeling? We are there. We're at the end.
So close, so close.
I'm still alive, so there's that.
That's a plus.
Barely.
I'm still wondering where the month went. It feels like November 2nd still.
Thank you. For real. This month flew by like the fastest of the entire year to me.
I feel like it's weird. Like it's like feels long. Like I think if you forget how long a month is when Nano starts, for me anyway, and then all of a sudden it's over anyway, and then you're like, wait, what just happened?
That's how I feel like when I'm in it. It always feels like a super long month, and then we reach the end, and I'm like, where did it go?
Yeah, that went fast.
But I think it's because I'm always doing like a million things in November. So, like, to answer this question, I'm working on homework. So every time that like November rolls around, it's like novel writing and homework. So I don't have any breathing space. So like it feels like it's taking forever because my to-do list is never like fully done.
Yes.
But then also like I'm working and sleeping and that's it. So it makes sense that the end comes and I'm like, what did I do this month? Oh, just work. That explains it.
I find the first week of the month always goes like really slowly. And then I blink and it's like, oh, it's the 30th already. That does not make sense. But time doesn't make sense anymore.
Time is a circle. Jeremy, bear me.
Yes. Now I need to rewatch The Good Place. Hello, everybody. Regina's got a wonky keyboard. And Regina won NaNoWriMo today. Well done.
Awesome.
Congrats.
Also, wonky keyboards is like the pin name for November for me because like I've had keyboard issues all November and I've hated it.
Oh, wow.
Always when you've got something to do. Button. Joanne's got 1,600 words left to win NaNoWriMo.
You got this, Joanne.
Yeah.
I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everyone has not been too stressed this past month. Katrina's barely alive.
I'm stressed when I remember that I should be stressed, but like when I'm like doing other things, I'm like, oh, it's out of my mind. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Nano no longer stresses me out because I've just accepted that like it's never my priority in the month. So it's nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. The word count of NaNoWriMo doesn't stress me out.
Yeah.
Sticking to my personal deadlines for NaNoWriMo is what is stressing me out because it's not word count goal related.
That part.
So I was very awful and procrastinated so much this month. So my goal of finishing Abingdon House number 5 is like I've got like 9 scenes left to write and I have 3 hours left of the day of NaNoWriMo. And now I'm like, should really have worked today as well because now I'm gonna be mad at myself for not finishing like I said I was gonna finish, which is annoying because now I have to write in December. I just didn't want to write in December, but now I feel like I might have to.
But it's like 9 scenes. You could probably finish it like in the first 2 weeks of December or something.
Or spread it out.
Probably.
So then you're not like, do it work on it one time a week or something.
Yeah. Depends on how much quality I want to put into each of these scenes, though, to be fair. So
yeah.
Same, Joanna. I'm in the same boat, but yeah.
Yep, finished Nano, but the draft isn't done. Yeah. It's not good.
I think Regina's in the same boat too.
Yes. She did say that she hadn't quite finished her draft, but she had completed the 50K. Which is good. It's progress.
Yeah.
Plan to finish at least one project in the first week of December. Do you know which project, Regina, that you want to finish in the first week? Right, so we are here today for me especially, to do some last minute sprints for NaNoWriMo and hopefully get as many more words as we possibly can. / use this time for productivity, for anything else that you need to do. Unfortunately for Zara, that is homework. What homework have you got to do?
So I'm in a class called Digital Formats where we talk about podcasts, audiobooks, and ebooks, and we have to do like a quarterly report. So I found, she says find 5 articles and then talk about what you think how those relate to publishing trends. But I actually found 2 trends because I found 2 articles supporting each trend, and I was like, I'm just going to call it a trend already and then talk about it. And then I found 3 articles, so I have to summarize the articles first, and then talk about them. So I finished one in the past hour, and I finished summarizing the other 2 articles for the other trends. So I need to summarize 3 more articles and write 4 summaries before I can move on to writing a 5-page paper where I'm basically like, here's what I think you should do to not get left behind in the current changing landscape. But that's for a different class, to a company, to a media company.
That sounds like so much work.
It's like,
It is that like if I wasn't overthinking it, I could probably sneeze it in the first 2 sprints. But I am overthinking it, so it might take the whole string to like do these 2 assignments.
I was just thinking, I do not miss writing essays.
I know.
I normally don't have to write essays, actually. Like, this is the first semester where I've really had a lot of papers, because up until, and this is my second to last semester in the program. Up until now, it's mostly been like presentations just over and over. And I'm like thankful for that. But now I'm like, oh, all the papers are due.
I was a double major in college, and for international business at my university, any international class requires a 10-page paper. So my last semester was like 4 international classes and 1 coding class. Hated it.
Yeah,
I would have too.
But I did have one professor that broke it up into 2 5-page papers instead of 1 10-page paper. So like I was thankful for that professor, but hated it.
See, I think that is the main reason that when I went to university, I tried to pick courses where I would not have to write essays, because I suck so badly at them. So I did creative writing and drama production, which was, yes, it was a lot of writing, but nothing theorizing or, exploring different classics or having to write essays on this, that, and the other. Luckily, I think the worst I had to do was for my very, very final project was like write a summary explaining like where I got the inspiration from different authors in regards to the work that I put through. Yeah, I can't. I don't vibe with essays. I just can't. My brain can't get my head around them at all whatsoever.
I'm probably weird in that I don't mind writing the essays, but I freak myself out about them because I get grades for them. So basically, like if I had to do homework but not get graded, I wouldn't ever be as freaked out about it as I am with the fact that like I get grades.
Yeah.
And I'm in grad school, so like these grades technically don't matter because like I've already had like my resume is okay to get me hired for things I want to do. It's not like I have nothing on there to help me. So it's not like my GPA is like the only thing that could put me over the top for something. But my brain doesn't accept like, you're okay. You've been okay this whole time. You can chill. So.
Yeah. Right. Do we want to head into the first sprint?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me. Oh, what button do I need now? Need this one. I like putting everyone down at the bottom because we can. This is my sprint timer. It's a very fun sprint timer. It has a little button. We call it the no hope button, which spurts out a random writing sprint, which are usually very, very long. So I'm going to put it to, yeah. I say that now, it's not going to be a very long sprint at all if I press the button. I'll put it to my wonderful co-hosts, who are all linked down below, by the way, go check them out. And the people in the audience, do we have any preferences on sprint times as we go in today, or do we want to wing it and see where the random button takes us?
Should just do random. I feel like everyone always likes either or.
I vote for random. Like as you were describing it, I was like,
let's just wing it.
I know, it sounds kind of fun, like Destiny. Like if it's long, it's long. If it's short, it's short. You know.
27 for Crow, as always.
I can
Timer of Doom. Timer of Doom it is. Let me come out of this a little bit. Lovely. It is there. Lovely. So this little button here, no hope. The sprint will start automatically. So if everybody is ready, we will start our first random sprint in 3, 2, 1. I'm scared.
Oh!
4303. Happy writing, everyone.
if I don't finish this assignment by then, you all have the right to yell at me.
that is the end of the first sprint. How did everybody do?
That actually went quick. Didn't you ever feel like that went quick?
It did, yeah.
I was looking at I was working and then I came to see how much time I had left and I was like 1 minute and I was like, what? But I did good. I am on the last chapter and there's some things I haven't worked out yet because it's like a big battle type thing. So like, of course, my outline says big battle. So I just have to figure out the logistics. That'll probably be my struggle the next sprint.
Yeah, battles and fight scenes are the one thing I hate writing the most.
It's keeping track of everybody. You're like, oh,
yeah.
So the other person's just standing there the whole time. You're like, what are they doing?
That was good for me. I wrote 352 and I got some pie.
Nice.
What type of pie?
Yeah, sweet potato.
Hey.
Sounds good.
It's the superior pie.
I got 411 words and I walked the dogs. So yeah, that was an adventure.
I'm not counting words, but so there were 5 total and 1 was already done. So I got through 1, 2, 3 of the remaining 4. So I only have 1 more thing to do in this assignment before I can switch over to the other. I'm so excited.
You did that quick.
Yeah.
Productivity for everybody. I think I got 1 scene done very, very badly, and it's completely full of exposition, but that's just what it's going to have to be.
What I heard was you only have 8 scenes left.
I know, right?
Right. Like I heard that the number of scenes you got left went down.
It went down. It's future Sarah's problem. It's fine. We got words.
I counted the words that I did for my homework because I saw someone in the chat like counted their words. So I did 710 words.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot easier for me to write like nonfiction than a novel.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the complete opposite. I can't nonfiction to save my life. There's that one. Okay, let's see. Oh, I can't use that question because it's not a weekend. Let's find out, guys. What is your favorite and least favorite part about the writing process?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you mean like stage, like drafting, revising, whatever? Or do you mean like, I don't know, like having to come up with character names as an example or something like that?
Anything, any part of the writing process, from that first little grain of, inspiration to, anything and everything going forward.
I guess my favorite part is coming up with the idea. And my least favorite part is when I'm done with the draft and I'm like, I need to fix it. Like, I don't mind the revision part, but knowing I have to do a revision sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, brainstorming is my favorite part. And I think describing things is my least favorite.
Yeah.
What does anyone in my novel look like? I don't even know.
My favorite part is talking to my CPs about like an idea, and in my head when I'm talking to them, I don't know if I'm making sense, but when they give me the response that, oh my god, no, that totally makes sense, and this and this and this, like that's the best part for me. And the worst part is when I send something to somebody else and I'm waiting for their response. Like that is the worst part because I don't know, and I'm like freaking out. Like, did I hit this part right? Are they gonna laugh like I laughed? Are they gonna tell me it sucks? So once I read it, I'm fine. But until I get that response email, I'm like a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. Brainstorming and coming up with the idea, that's the most fun to me. That's when I have the most motivation and think that I'm just gonna be sitting down and writing this thing. It's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be great because it's all just bubbling over. And then the worst part is having all that excitement and having all that motivation and still sort of having to push myself to write it. Like it's effort for me. Like, once I'm going, it's great and I'm fine. And like, but then as soon as especially like when I'm on a roll too, and then I stop and I think, oh yeah, I'm going to write so many more words today. This is going to be great. But then I don't. So I think that's the hardest part for me is I think I have all these like expectations and things that I think I'm going to do. And then when I don't do them, it's like this constant sort of self-punishment guilt cycle that I've been trying to break and be good with. But yeah, so if I could just like not be like be able just to accept that, oh my God, I wrote this today and that's great, and just celebrate all the wins instead of just constantly like self-punishing myself, thinking that I should have done more, or I should have done this, or I should have done that, and just giving me all the shouldas. That's the part I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely.
I think sometimes writers, we tend to think about what we have not done as opposed to what we have done.
Yes, exactly. Oh, it's so much healthier to reverse that, and just be like, holy crap, I did too, whatever. 20
writers, we're not healthy. We have anxiety. We have awful posture. We forget to stretch and hydrate, even with Shay's reminders.
Stretch and hydrate, everybody.
I know. But the older that you get, the more that actually affects your health. Trust me.
The pancake has helped me actually get better at hydrating and stretching, but I know I still don't do it enough to be considered healthy.
Yeah. You always forget when you're just sitting at your desk or wherever you're sitting, because you don't really realize that you're not sitting completely straight. See, that just feels, sitting straight just feels so awkward to me.
Yeah.
The crazy part is the healthy way to sit isn't to sit straight all the time. Like, that's not the best posture for you, isn't to sit straight all the time. Like, it's weird the things that we've been taught that are like the best way to be that really aren't like great for our anatomy. It's just interesting like, once you get into it.
Yeah. Right now, because I'm in physical therapy, though, they want me to.
Yeah.
Because I hunch too much, and then that just puts more pressure on my lower back. So they're kind of like giving me like pillows and things so that I do sit up straight. It's a balance. Like that's the whole thing.
We need to keep our S curve like the way it's naturally. Like we can't overemphasize it, and we do if we're like leaning forward or leaning too
back or anything. Yeah. But the problem is too is just to not even if you're sitting properly or whatever, is that not to do it for lengthy amounts of time.
Yeah.
Which of course as writers, that's what we do. So it's interesting because sort of having the the injuries that I've had right now, it forces me to get up every hour or so because you just feel the pain. You're like, I got to get up, I want to be able to in the future do that without pain and just, just have the reminder I should get up and walk. But I honestly already know that I probably won't. But once I get better, I'll be like, well, that wasn't that bad. I don't know.
They say pain is a great motivator.
It is.
Avoiding pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or relieving pain. I just raised my laptop up further.
Help.
Let's sneak here.
Hi, Kitty.
Does Snake understand that voices come from the screen? Because Riley doesn't understand that voices can come from technology. Like she'll look around and be like, "Where's the person?
Yeah.
I smell a new person."
Yeah, he definitely because he knows his name really well. So when he hears it, he's all like, where's that coming from? But yeah, he doesn't quite recognize that it's people in the computer.
So Titan recognizes Britt's voice. So like whenever I stream with Britt, he's the most active. So he'll like hop up and like get up here. He won't look at her or the camera or anything, but he'll like start to get more active. Like I'll be talking to somebody else and then it'll be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go get on with Britt. And he won't have bothered me the entire time. But as soon as me and her get on, like he's like moving around. I'm like, I don't. And she hates it because he won't ever say hi to her. Like he won't look at her. So she's like, so you like me, but you don't like me. It's like, yeah, that's tight.
If I'm ever watching Riley at my place, my mom used to call. She'll be like, oh, I'm doing this. And then I'll come by in like in a few hours. And then Riley would start crying. I was like, you can't call. Like you have to text me unless you're like 5 minutes away and you're like, come down because the elevator can take a while. Or something like, you know, but otherwise I'm like, I don't want to deal with Riley crying for like an hour because she misses you and thinks that you're coming like immediately.
I don't have any pets. I'm sad.
I don't have any pets, but my youngest daughter, the second my camera's turned on, she is there. Peeking like, oh, it's a camera. I want to be on the camera as well. Thank you very much. That's why I only stream when she's in bed.
Oh, he wandered off. He stayed through the whole sprint though, so that was good. He was like my little, you know, muse, but he got bored. So he left.
Yes, I do. I feel weird like relating them to my like pets, but
yeah, it's like Sarah has children and Tavisha has younger siblings. I was like, I don't think you can call them pets, nor should you.
9. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
9 cats. Oh.
That's crazy.
Oh, is that a cat?
I have stray cats that hang out underneath my car. And that's about it.
I would literally die because it would be so much cat hair. I would not be able to breathe. That's way too many cats for me. Oh, that's a lot.
I think I've had a cat in my life. It was just the one. Couldn't handle more than one.
I remember a cat for like 1 month, and she's like, "No, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it."
Once I can afford pet insurance, then I'll get an animal.
Yes. Always feels like every writer has has a cat or a dog. Or at least I should say most of the author tubers that I watch always seem to have a cat or a dog.
Right?
And then I'm
like
just
a
there
little
like,
sidekick.
yeah. A little
We're all,
and I'm just sitting there like
Disney princesses with an animal sidekick. Even if our gender is not female, we're a Disney princess because of the animal sidekick.
Yes. You're always officially a Disney princess if you have an animal sidekick. There is nothing else. What am I doing? Oh, I am in the right place. Lovely. Shall we start our next sprint, everybody?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Do we have a sprint time in mind, or do we just want to go click the button again?
Balls to the wall. Let's go random.
Random.
Yeah, random. Let's do it.
Random it is. If everybody is ready, we will start our probably second and final sprint of the stream in 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Look, this thing does give you short sprints, okay? It does. Just never when I'm live. Always when I'm not live, It will give you the short sprints.
I'm happy. I love longer sprints, so
Same. Chunky sprint. Happy writing, everybody. And that is the end of the sprint. Screen. How did we do?
I finished and submitted the assignment, and I started on the next one.
Yay! That's so good.
I had to plan out this battle. I'm still not done, but I figured, you know, even though it's the last day of Nano, word count is king. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just really need to figure out this battle, otherwise it's just going to be crap. I'll have to change later anyway. So.
Did you draw it out like a sports diagram, or are you?
No, I'm just sort of doing a brain dump, you know, of like, because it's a giant battle with like different types of magic users, plus dragons, plus people, you know, so it's a lot of chaos, and I just don't know. I need to figure out which places I need to focus on. So
I think it'd be cool / funny to see it drawn out like a football play.
Yes,
I know that's
what
the X's and O's and the arrows.
I might do that, you know.
I've never done it, but I've been tempted on multiple times when writing.
Yeah, it might work, man.
Nice.
I'll try anything. Hey, that's okay. Wow.
That was a really good point from me.
60,000 words. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know. I can't.
So I am less than 100 words from 2,000 for the day. So that's where I'm.
Nice.
Yes.
Yay.
Good.
Yes.
Well done,
Priorities.
Becca. Yes, my first writing second.
That's awesome.
You hand paint all of your holiday cards. That is so cool.
That is really neat.
That's so thoughtful.
Many of you got any holiday crafts that you do around this time of year?
No.
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 When I'm done with the semester, sometimes I'll like go back to knitting a project, but it's not like holiday specific. It's more just like it's cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Good time.
Do you have any craft projects planned, Becca?
I do tend to make a lot of my Christmas presents, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that this year because of my back and leg injury. I tried sewing to make an outfit for Comic-Con before I left, and I was able to do it, but I had to like use my standing desk. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It just wasn't working. So I think unfortunately I probably can't sew until it's completely healed.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll have to write.
Did you have fun at Comic-Con though?
Yeah,
you can make patterns for all the things you like want to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, and actually it worked out because Comic-Con, I was able to get presents for the people I normally would probably sew something for. So it kind of balanced out.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Fun times of it.
I found a bunch of 1 hour crochet patterns for gifts. So my plan is for the first week of December every day. Hopefully they really are an hour long. And it only takes me an hour. And so if I do one every day, then by the end of the first week, I'll have all the presents I need to make. Hopefully. But we'll see. We shall see if that works. That's my plan.
Can you please vlog that? Because that would be awesome.
That is the plan. That is the plan to like, hey, this is my attempt to do that. Especially because like the only thing I've ever made crochet wise for people is blankets. And that definitely is not a 1 hour thing. Like if I made you a blanket, it definitely took me like a month.
I was gonna say.
So right. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because like I've never done like I've knitted scarves, but I've never crocheted a scarf before. So
Yeah.
Maybe you should shoot me over that playlist because I haven't yet to buy a single gift for anybody.
Yeah, I'd like that playlist too, just in general.
okay, all right, yeah, I send to you.
No,
It
I've had to be really careful.
Doesn't feel like the holidays yet. I don't know.
No, not at all.
No.
I have a knitting one over there because I haven't finished it because I don't know if the gauge is wrong or if the instructions were just really wrong. Because it's supposed to be like the front of a sweater and it's not wide enough, but it's way too long. And like, I didn't change the tension in my yarn as I was doing it at all. So I was like,
yeah. No, I can't knit or crochet. My fingers just don't.
I can't
work
either. I've
the way they
tried.
need to.
Yeah, same. I've definitely tried over the years, like both.
Yeah.
And I can't. Like, I don't, I mean, I try, like, I can always get, like with crocheting, I'll do, like, a line. And then when I try to, like, add to it, it just is, like, this whoosh of, like, I'm not, no, I don't have the patience.
I can barely do a line before something
Legitimately,
goes wrong.
I had to, like, learning how to crochet in a line to start off, in my opinion, is the worst way to learn how to start. I think the best way to start is with the granny square because like it continues to grow as you go around and you almost always can see what it is from the beginning. Like when you are crocheting straight, it takes like so many lines before you can actually get it to like sit
I
straight.
didn't even know that was an option. Okay.
No, me neither.
Yeah. I'm teaching you. You know, I want to be good at sewing, so I'm gonna help you get to crochet.
Yeah, do a tutorial so I can do it.
I learned with the, straight across or whatever, but when I started doing things in the round, like for hats and other things, I was like, this is so much easier. So I can crochet a baby hat in like 3 hours which I did for a friend who had a baby during the start of the pancake.
I don't know how to read patterns. I'm a YouTube girly. Like I'll watch and follow along with the YouTube videos, but I can't read a pattern to save my life.
Yeah. No, Jinx can't read it to save my life.
I have to do both. I have to look at what I'm doing, but then also I need someone to show me how to do it. Like I can't just do one or the other. I have to see it and watch it at the same time. So I know that I'm not doing it wrong.
Whenever I forget how to do a certain type of stitch, I'll YouTube it and see it, but normally for a pattern I can read it.
I wish I had that skill. It just looks like gibberish to me.
It's
like
practice.
Math.
It's practice, and I normally have to look up the abbreviations because, like, I always have long periods of time in between me picking up a yarn project. So I'm always like, I forgot what all the abbreviations mean. But
and sewing patterns are like that too. Sometimes I'm just like, what? But at least with sewing patterns, they sometimes have the picture, and then I can kind of figure it out. I'm like, oh, because the way they explain it. Oh, like I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, put this to the right side on this, and the reverse side, and you're just like, what? And then they show the picture, and you're like, oh, they're like putting in like a seam, and you're like, why didn't just? I don't know why it's worded like this. So yeah, I usually just follow the pictures more than I actually read a pattern.
Yeah, that's why I always found cross stitch the easiest thing to do.
Oh,
so
is it the same?
Look at the little picture with the squares and just be like, okay, just follow the squares. And that is all that I needed to do. And I found that easy.
That's how I feel about latch hooking. Like latch hooking is so easy and it's so relaxing, like just flipping the yarn and whatnot. I love it.
Oh. You can still finish it. 4th birthday present.
Finish it by the time he has children, so he can be like, "This was supposed to be yours."
Tay, I like the way you think.
I don't know if you've ever seen Gunnar Deathridge on like Instagram Reels or on YouTube Shorts or his YouTube channel, but he creates sewing patterns like all the time. He's like, "Oh, join my Patreon to get the pattern," and I'm so tempted every time because he just like makes beautiful dresses and outfits all the time. But I'm also like, I'm also not someone who sews enough for to justify this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about selling my patterns for my bags that I make, but I'm such a I do things because I'm self-taught, so I feel like I don't know, like I'm probably doing things incorrectly, so I just get really like I don't think because then I don't know, like there's probably a better way to do it. So I sort of feel like I probably shouldn't do the pattern.
They'll pay for your way.
I don't know, but then it makes me think: will anybody be able to recreate it because it's done in such a weird way? You know what I mean? Like for instance, like the tails of the dragons. I'm sure there's a way to. Sorry, my cat is going crazy. I'm sure there's a way to make sure that it doesn't twist because just the way that it is. But I kind of have to shimmy it every single time, and sometimes it even twists a little bit, and I'll have to unstitch the whole thing and then redo it. And so it's like I don't know. Like I feel like there was probably a way I could have patterned it to get rid of that twist from happening, like possibly happening. Because I just didn't want to like release a pattern and then people are like, "Oh my god, the tail is twisted. Like, how do I fix it?" And I'm all like, well, I mean, you kind of have to keep on moving it until it doesn't twist anymore. And like it just, I'm just not good enough at patterns to feel comfortable telling others how to do it. Like if it's somebody coming over to my house and be like, here, take the pattern. Like I'll show you how to do it, but to like sell them as a pattern. Yeah, I don't think. It's like a whole beast.
No, that's fair. Right, I'm going to throw one more question at all of you before we head off. It's a weird one.
Oh, great.
It's not that weird. Favorite book that you've read so far this year that you would recommend to everyone out there?
That's some good ones. I'm reading with my mom this series by Rachel Housel Hall, and it's a detective series. And we're on the 4th and last book, and the whole series we've managed to read this year, and it's really, really good. I'm not sure what the first book's called because like we've just been reading them one after the other. So let me check, and then I'll put it in the chat. But it was really good.
I haven't read anything in so long that I don't remember what I've read this year.
I'm looking at what I read this year on Book Hype. I'm looking to see. I was like, what have I read that counts as this year?
I think I have read something this year. I couldn't tell you what it was though, because I'm not sure I did actually read anything this year or not.
So if you're looking for something kind of spicy, A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling told from Persephone's point of view, and then she has like another companion series told from Hades' point of view. Trigger warning for assault in all of them, just so people know. And then a lot sweeter, ironically called A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee. It's the first book in, I think it's going to be a trilogy because I can't think of who the fourth couple would be, but the first and the second book are both out, and then the third book is coming.
That's the first book of the series. But if you like detectives, and what's really cool is she kind of writes like a throwback to like Chandler and Hammett and like all the classic detective stories and her descriptions and stuff. It's really fun. Like the way it's like all of her books are kind of like almost feel like a love letter to Los Angeles. And like I've lived here for the last 30 years and, you know, and it's one of those places where I chose it as my home. So her descriptions just, I don't know. They just put a smile to my face. It's just like, it's so good. It's a really good mystery. You are guessing until the end, which is nice. Even if you kind of guess what you think it is, which, you know, you're right. She makes sure that she adds a little extra twist just to, so that you're like, oh, but it might be.
Detective stories are no fun when you guess who it is at the very beginning.
I know, and that was the problem with the first book that we read, which by this British author, which was also takes place in LA, and it was so obvious he's never been to Los Angeles in his life, even though he claims to have lived there for a time, because like there's like a fast food restaurant called In-N-Out Burger here, and he had his character there, and this is like. It's just like an upgraded McDonald's, right? I mean, it's good food, but it's a fast food restaurant. Sometimes it's even just drive-through. It's not even a place to sit down. And he literally had the characters like sit there, and then he's like, then the waitress came by and asked if we wanted anything else. I'm all like, waitress? Okay, this guy's never set foot in In-N-Out Burger. And I feel like if there were waiters at McDonald's, it was just like one thing after the other. I was like, oh man, this guy. And then he says like he's like, oh, it took 20 minutes to get from like one area to another area. And sure, mile wise, if you Google Maps it, you're like 7 miles. Oh, okay, let's say even with traffic, it would be 20 minutes. No, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours to get there. And so what was nice about switching over to Rachel's book was that like literally within the first chapter, she was all like, it was only 7 miles, but of course it took us 3 hours. And I was all like, thank you. Like, she knows Los Angeles.
Okay, so for me, they're both series. And so like I read the books in both series, or like I read half of the second one. So the first one would be Ray Bear by Jordan Ifoiko. So I read Ray Bear and I'm like in the middle of Redemptor. Loved it. Amazing duology. Like she wrote the first one, I read it and I was like, God, please bless her, because I don't know how she's going to follow up this first book. And I don't want her to have second book syndrome. And so far, baby, let me tell you, she does not have it. That girl wrote that book. Yes. I love it. And I love her narrator. Jonice Abbott Pratt is just such a great narrator. And so she brought the book to life because there's like songs in the book. And so the narrator like sings them as like the character would sing them. So it's just great. And then the other one would be, I'm not gushing, but I read Dream Diaries 1 and 2 this year and loved it and have been asking for the third book since I finished the second one. Aww. So those would be the like two that like I read and like loved this year that I had not read before.
You are too nice.
But I did. I loved it, girl. I did. So like when you start on 3, you know.
Cool. Right. It's late where I am, unfortunately.
Oh gosh, how bad. Oh.
So we're gonna call the stream to an end. Didn't finish my book, but it's fine.
You will get there.
I'll sort it out later. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Do you want to do a quick outro before we head off?
Sure. Should we go around like we've been doing, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. My name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the self-published author of 6 books, a young adult paranormal romance trilogy, and a new adult sci-fi romance trilogy. I'm on Ko-fi, which I believe is linked down below, and I'm also the co-creator of the Writish podcast with Kelly Wright, which drops every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Hey y'all, I'm Cache. I write short stories, poetry, and the occasional blog post. There will be more than occasional in December, I promise. I promise. I will be streaming later on with the lovely Becca C. Smith on her channel to try and get some words. I've thrown in the towel on 10K, but 5K is coming out.
I know, me too.
If you haven't subscribed to my channel, tomorrow there will be an announcement video going live on my channel and my co-host Britt Ryderly. So if you go check out our channel, you'll see it. So that's all I got.
Looking forward to it.
My name is Becca C. Smith, and right now all I want to do is finish Kill KO Beak. And I'm hoping that I can by the end of December. That's it.
You got this. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I am Devesha G. Fry. Not actually my last name, but we'll go with it. My channel is Grape Fry. I can't make any promises about what I'm doing or where I will be or anything ever again because I fall short every single time. But I know at 9 Eastern tonight, I'm going to be on Kaylin Ash's channel for a little bit doing some extra last minute sprints.
Yes. Lovely. Right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I need to go to bed now. So for everybody who does have a rest of the day, I hope you have a good one. I hope you get all your words done. And we'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.